Well, hi there everyone and welcome to the channel. I've got a super fun recipe for you today. This one is a dessert in a jar and I'm calling it Ooey Gooey Lemon Squares. And it's super yummy, super fun, and really bright tart lemony flavor. It's really a cross between a lemon bar and an Ooey Gooey cake and a Neiman Marcus bar, if y'all have ever tried any of those things. I combined a couple of recipes that I like. This one is in honor of my mother-in-law because lemon flavored anything is her favorite dessert. So here you go, Nana. All right, you're gonna need 2 jars to do this recipe. The first jar, let's put the cake batter in. And I'm gonna use a 24-ounce jar because I think it looks really pretty for the pictures. Do not worry if you don't have a 24-ounce jar. They're kind of hard to come by sometimes. You can just use a quart-sized jar for this if you don't have one of these 3-cup jars. I'm gonna start by putting a cup of all-purpose flour in the bottom of the jar. And then on top of that, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of our scrambled egg mix. I love using our scrambled egg mix in baking recipes. Sour cream powder is going to really add some richness, and it's so creamy, it's delicious. We'll need some kosher salt and baking soda. That baking soda is going to react with the lemon, and the salt is great for contrast of flavor. All right, I've got 3/4 cup of sugar. And the lemon flavor is going to come from the True Lemon packets. Now, I got these at Walmart, but you can also get them on Amazon, and I'll link to that below in the description box. All right, so there's our first jar. And in our second jar, we're going to do the Ooey Gooey layer part, okay? And in a way, this is like a cheesecake batter. You'll see what I mean here. I'm going to start with 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And then to that sugar, we're going to add some scrambled egg mix. And that's just 1.5 tablespoons. And then 3/4 cup of the cream cheese powder. Now, I did get that on Amazon. I'm using the Judy's brand. I'll link to that below. A little bit of vanilla powder and a little bit of salt. We're going to make this cheesecake layer lemony as well by adding some True Lemon packets here. Thrive Life used to sell some lemonade powder, so you could use that instead. Or if you just have lemon powder that you've ordered, you'll need about 1.5 teaspoons in that Ooey Gooey layer. So here are the jars that you could keep stored on your shelf. If you're enjoying my content, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow. And if you're interested in getting my meals in a jar recipes in cookbook form, I do have a cookbook out. If you want the print version, this one is available on Amazon, and I also have the ebook version available on my website, which is thefreezedriedfoodie.com. I will link both below. All right, back to the video. Let's start with the cake batter first. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You can remove that baggie of lemon packets. Now, if you're just going to use lemon powder, you can put it straight into the jar, about 2 teaspoons worth. All right, into the bowl goes the cake batter ingredients, as well as the lemon powder. And this is enough lemon powder to make it nice and lemony. You're not going to be wondering, is that supposed to be a lemon flavor? No, it is very pronounced, especially because it's in both the cake batter and the Ooey Gooey layer. So give that a stir, and then you're going to add 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of water, and then 3 tablespoons of some sort of oil. I used coconut oil. You could use avocado oil, just something neutral flavored. Give that a stir to combine everything, and that's all there is to the cake batter layer. Every once in a while, I really enjoy doing recipes like this, just a treat, a dessert, something special, because if you're eating from your food stores, it can get boring and repetitive, and this is really refreshing and fun. So you can just set that to the side. And now let's work on the ooey gooey layer. Another medium-sized bowl. You will remove the lemon packets and empty your ingredients into the bowl and then add the lemon packets to it. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. When we add the water, you'll understand what I mean about it's kind of like a cheesecake layer here. But it's so yummy how it bakes into the cake layer. And if you've ever had an ooey gooey butter cake, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So delicious. All right, give that a stir and add about 3.5 tablespoons of water. I'll show you what it should look like. And if you need to add a little bit more water in order to get it to that consistency, you can add water a teaspoon at a time. All right, so this is the consistency you want here. You want that batter to ribbon onto itself. Now, what I did here was I took a 9-inch square cake pan and I lined it with some parchment paper. I just snipped the edges so it would lay flat. And first you'll add the cake batter and go ahead and ooch it into the corners. And then you're just gonna pour on that ooey gooey cheesecake batter and it should just ribbon on the top. You don't want to stir this. Try to get complete coverage here. Fill in all those spaces with that batter. And, you know, if there's some gaps, don't worry about it. This is homemade food. You'll want to bake this at 350 degrees for somewhere between 25 and 28 minutes. I pulled mine out at 27 minutes, and this is what it looked like. It gets nice and browned on the top, and it's really glossy. You don't want to take it any further than that, though. I took mine just probably a minute too far, actually. But this is the hard part. You have to let it completely cool, at least 2 hours, okay, before you lift it out. That parchment paper just makes a sleeve, and it makes it really easy to remove from the pan. And then you can cut it into squares. Now, I did wipe my knife blade in between cuts, which seemed to help because it's very sticky and it will stick to your knife. And then you can just plate these up. And they're bars or squares, and so no utensils required. But aren't they gorgeous? And you can see, hopefully the camera is showing how these two layers just kind of melt into each other. And the bottom layer, that cake layer, it's kind of dense, what you would think of like a bar. It acts like a crust almost. And then the top layer, that lemony, ooey gooey, cheesecakey layer, it's sticky and sweet and kind of shiny. But I hope the camera picks this up. You can tell that the ooey gooey layer on the top is so nice and moist. And it makes these really fun to eat too. They're kind of sticky. They're really yummy. And see, the cake is pretty much on the bottom and the cheesecake layer is on the top. And y'all, it's so good. Really great recipe here. I hope y'all try this. If you like lemon bars, I think you're gonna like this. I'm gonna make these for my mother-in-law for Easter, but I just thought it's springtime. And yeah, I wanna make something with lemon. All right, guys, I will include the full recipe in my description box below this video. I'll include my shopping link in case you want to pick up some Thrive Life ingredients. And don't forget, Thrive is having a big spring sale. It starts April the 15th and runs through the 21st. Consultants get to shop a day early. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you. And until next time, y'all, take care and keep thriving.